To Maple Leafs fans, you were always a huge fan favorite, but in opposing rinks, you were public enemy number one.
Hard left by Domi. Domi fires a couple punches and another one. I think Muhammad Ali might have gone down with that left cross from Ty Domi.
And I think there's no better example of that than the game, March 29th, 2001. Take me back to that night.
First of all, Philadelphia was my favorite place to play because they were so involved in the game, the fans, that I used to love playing there. But that night was something I didn't expect.
So you're in the box. So what? You first start hearing fans behind you. Is that right?
Well,
what
no,
happened?
they actually always, heckle me, but they always throw stuff at me. This particular time, I got hit with a lighter.
Okay.
And, I said, oh, good shot. I kind of turned around, good shot.
Okay.
And then the guy was chirping. So I was like, let me get this guy. So I squirted him with.
So you get the water bottle.
Gatorade.
All right.
Yeah, I made sure it was blue, too.
And then?
The guy came from, behind, way behind. When he came, I'm like, and then the glass broke. He came in, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? And I'm kind of holding him. And then all of a sudden, he threw a punch at Kevin Collins.
So Kevin Collins, yeah, the linesman comes in.
The linesmen are like your brothers. They're part of the brotherhood. And once he hit Kevin,
you weren't going to let that happen to him. Okay.
That was it. I didn't want to beat the guy up. I just had to, hey, listen, you hit my buddy here.
Yeah.
Even the refs, I'm like, hey, guys, seriously, he came into my work, like,
What am I supposed to do?
Watch the lawsuit, Ty. Watch the lawsuit.
At what point did you realize, uh-oh, this isn't over?
When I got the legal letter that I was being sued, and not just me, Comcast, the NHL, the Flyers, everybody's being sued.
So you personally had to pay for the lawyer after you had been sued by the fan.
And end up winning, and he appeals it. So I'm like, are you kidding me? I gotta pay
Again.
Again? It's the second last game of the year, and we're playing the Flyers. I'm meeting the lawyers at the Four Seasons in Philadelphia for breakfast, and 3 of them came. They're like, oh, well, he appealed it, we have to go back at it again. What? Are you crazy? There's no way. I said, get me his phone number. I want to call the guy. And they're like, no. I said, get me the number or you guys are all fired. They got me the number, and I end up on the bus, sitting next to Matt Sundin. I said, I'm going to call this guy. He's like, what, are you crazy? I said, yeah, I'm going to call him and see if he's coming to the game. So I'm like, hello? He goes, hello? Who's this? I said, it's Ty Domi. He said, don't mess around me. Who is this? I said, it's Ty Domi. Here's my number. Call me back. I want to talk to you. Calls back. Hi. I told you it's me.
So now he knows he's really talking to Ty Domi.
I'm like, you going to the game tonight? He's like, yeah. I said, I really want to meet you. Here's what's going to happen. After the game, I'm going to get a room. Security's going to bring in this room, and I just want to talk to you face to face. Sure enough, I go in that room. They brought him into that room. It's him and I, and when I walked in, it was like, thought
Is he ready for a brawl?
He thinks I'm going to, and I'm like, hey, man, and I shook his hand, and I hugged him, and I said, we're playing Philly in the first round. How about if I fly you and your wife and your 2 kids? I'll give you tickets for the first 2 games. I'll pay your flight, and I'll pay your hotel, and, we'll call it. He goes, really? I said, yeah, really. And he goes, okay. I shook his hand. I had all the papers.
Made him sign.
I made him sign them, and I got the NHL off. I got Comcast off. I got the Flyers off. I got everybody off, right? And I'm like, hey,
Just with a handshake and a hug.
And honestly, and I said, hey, just don't tell the media.
Right. This will be our little
He didn't tell the media, like, right there and then
Okay.
after the game, like, nobody knew.
Okay.
But then in Toronto, he was doing interviews, just sitting there talking to everybody, and I didn't give a I was so happy.
It was all done.
Yeah. So that's really how it all happened and it ended. And he was a really nice guy, and it just happened, right? And he's a diehard Philadelphia fan, and it was one of those things that we're sitting here talking about 25 years later. And thanks for bringing it up, Chris.
It's the story that just keeps on giving, right?
I'm glad to share it with you.
All right, great stuff, Chris. As great a pugilist as